Welcome to the action, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jack. I'm your commentator. We are here live with MOR Esports for the 12 p.m. social. Here today, live at you from TikTok, from Twitch, from YouTube. Whatever platform you're on, we're probably streaming on it. We are very excited for this race today. We are debuting a little bit of a different format as well, due to a lot of the manual retirements and crashes and whatever else. The socials now have a different format. It is a one-shot qualifying followed by a 35% race. This is to hopefully calm down some of the incidents and just make the pack a little bit closer. So hopefully it works, and if all is good and drivers remember that they can drive like real people, we will take it back to 50% by the end of the day. So don't worry, it's not a permanent change unless people do still drive a bit odd, shall we say. But that is the format that we've got right now. That is the format that we will have at 12, and then from 2 o'clock, we will see really what happens with the standards and all that sort of thing. And we will really go from there. I do apologize. I know that that's not what people will want, whether you're viewing or whether you are racing. But unfortunately, we do need to take some sort of precaution because it is getting a bit too much now. And a lot of drivers are having their races ruined. And this is basically the most that we can do. We've had a lot of call from drivers to sort out the driving standards and to make it a little bit more strict. This is really the only way that we can do that. So this is just a trial, see what this is like. We might change things up. We might make it short qualifying 35% race. Might make it a little bit different. See if other things work better. As I say, this is only a trial period, so obviously things can change. We might just go straight back to the short quali 50% if this works completely fine. If there's a bit of trial and tribulation, we might go to something else. So do bear with us while we try and sort everything out and make these social races as enjoyable for everyone as possible. Kevin Zonneberg is currently the man on provisional pole in this one-shot quali, and he's flying along the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. We know how quick Kevin is. You'd be a bit of a silly person to not expect Kevin to be on pole position, but Mr. Smith is going with him. That was a drift out of the final corner from Kevin, and it is Mr. Smith that takes it by 0.02 of a second. Mr. Smith is on pole, and that drift out of the final corner really did ruin Kevin's lap. Would have been pole position, but a little bit of a slide out of the bus stop. It's Mr. Smith that takes pole, as you can see, by 0.02 of a second. And they are pretty clear to the pack behind. Ladies and gentlemen, we should have a brilliant race coming up for you. The Belgian Grand Prix is up next. Welcome back to the action then, ladies and gentlemen. The formation lap begins here in Spa. And first of all, I want to give a massive shout out to probably quite easily our top fan, Scooters, on Twitch, has hit a 70 stream streak. That is absolutely insane. Scooters, I say it in pretty much every stream, but thank you very much for your continued support. We do really appreciate it. You're always here in the streams. You're always in the chat. You're in the Discord as well. You're an absolute legend. Thank you for joining us on the MOR journey. We're very glad that you enjoy the racing that we bring you. We've got Kian in the Twitch chat as well. We've got Kay, Murad, Prince Jarmin, Dave in the TikTok chat. We've got Doug as well, ZJV in the chat as well on TikTok. Welcome in, everybody. And shorter races, realistically, should make it a little bit spicier. Alcada saying, why is gifting suspended? I think normally for the first 5-10 minutes of the stream, gifting is suspended just to make sure it's not like plagiarized content or anything like that. And then eventually it does get itself enabled. But yeah, shorter races should make it a little bit spicier. These drivers will have to battle it out a little bit quicker. So only 35% races as opposed to the 50% races that we normally bring you. So it's going to make the racing a little bit scrappier because these drivers will not have the time they normally do to sort positions out. And penalties then will, of course, become a much bigger thing. They will harm drivers more, especially 10-second penalties for speeding in a pit lane. That ruins someone's race in a 50% race, let alone a 35% race. So let's get ourselves on the grid then. Ahead of the Belgian Grand Prix, Mr. Smith snatched pole away from Kevin. Strategy is looking like the softs are the favoured compound, although mediums are seeing good running as well from Mr. Smith, Luz, Hi-Fi, Jarmin, Gunpowder, Clyde, Kian and Zessie. So all that is left to do then is await the drivers on the grid and the lights to shine ahead of them. The engines roar to life then here in MOR Esports. 5 red lights ahead of the drivers and we can go racing for the Belgian Grand Prix. Mr. Smith does get away well from pole, but look at Kevin round the outside, not able to make a move as there's big wheel locking there. And off the road goes one of the Ferraris, and that's Gunpowder straight into the gravel. Looked like a bit of netcode issues, but there was contact, and off the road goes the Scuderia. Mr. Smith, through a Rouge and Rally on we go, is ahead. Kevin was looking to challenge, but we have got a virtual safety car deployed immediately. Alcada gets a 10-second penalty for a severe collision with Supersonic. And the action immediately calms down then. Kevin did look like he had the run on Mr. Smith to try and make a move. But unfortunately for him, the full course yellows were flying. Gunpowder at the back. Looks like Clyde has had a moment as he's the man with no front wingers. We can go racing once again then. And Kevin sets after Mr. Smith. The soft compound tyres versus the mediums. Lewis and CK9 battling away for the final podium position. It's Wood Butcher that's currently in 3rd place. And you can see Wood Butcher a little bit glitchy on the track. He is hounding down the McLaren of Kevin. Kevin, we're getting pretty used to him being the quickest driver in MOR. Is of course part of PSGL and WOR Tier 1. As that's Mr. Smith running a little bit wide and onto the gravel. So here comes Kevin then, down towards Blanchimont. Is he able to make a move on the opening lap? Is pulling towards the outside line of Blanchimont. Is he able to get around the outside? Doesn't look like it. Might want to use a little bit of battery to try and get through at the bus stop. No, lifts and coasts. Want to save the battery, get the overtake boost, and maybe go for the move down the Kemmel straight. We've got yellow flags flying, and that is for Benny, who is backwards through Blanchimont. Definitely not the optimal line through there. As we end lap 1 then, Mr. Smith is your leader. Kevin in second place is going to look to try and make this move work. As towards Eau Rouge we go. Surely they can't go wheel to wheel through Eau Rouge. Kevin just doesn't have the power to get by. But at the top of the hill we go. And down the Kemmel straight. Kevin is absolutely flying. And there's nothing the Red Bull can do to stop it. Kevin and the McLaren car fly through into the lead of the Belgian Grand Prix. Lap 2 of 15. He saved. He picked his moment and he took it. Zessi has had a moment through Eau Rouge and Radion and is off into the runoff area. Not sure if there's any damage for him. Clyde comes into the pits for the hard compound tyres. And Kevin continues on leading then. The straight mode enabled down and through Pouhon we go. Mr. Smith dropping a bit back now. And Kevin, now that he's in the clean air, is this where we see the dominant Kevin that we are used to knowing? And he runs away with this race. Mr. Smith will do everything he can to stop that happening. But is it a case of unstoppable forces, Kevin? And Mr. Smith isn't the immovable object. 1.1 seconds is already the gap. You can see Kevin burning the battery, trying to get out of the overtake boost. And he has done exactly that. Wood Butcher falling out of the overtake boost as well. And the gaps immediately open up then out in front. Closest battle on track is Alcada versus Jarmin as we go through Blanchimont. Kevin with the fastest lap of the race, inevitably. It was lap 2. We now move on to lap 3 then. And Alcada into the back of Jarmin, and Jarmin spun round at the bus stop. There was nothing the Alpine could do to predict that. Alcada's Red Bull straight into the back of the Alpine. The Alpine now joining in the way of Gunpowder, who we saw in the gravel at turn 1, looking to try and make the move on Jarmin, looking for the switchback through La Source, and towards Eau Rouge we go then. These two cars wheel to wheel. We know how dangerous Eau Rouge is on your own. Wheel to wheel at a little bit more risk. Gunpowder just runs out of battery, as has Jarmin. But Jarmin, with the track position, will be staying ahead for at least the time being. Zessi comes into the pits, obviously had some sort of damage after that moment he had at the top of Eau Rouge, as the gaps are still opening up then between really the top 8. So the closest battle is between Hi-Fi and Tom, and that is the battle for 8th place. Haas versus Cadillac, the two American teams on the grid. And the Cadillac is chasing down the Haas car. Error gets a 3-second penalty as Luz and Butcher battle away. Looks like Luz might have been off the track somewhere. And the Haas car now down to 4th. Butcher up into 3rd place. The gap between Butcher and Mr. Smith, though, 3.1 seconds. The gap between Mr. Smith and Kevin Zunneberg as we make our way towards the bus stop chicane, 1.3 seconds. And Kevin then settling into life in the lead of this race. Both of them using as much battery as possible. Mr. Smith will desperately want to get back into the overtake boost as Alcada and Jack Plays now do battle, and there's going to be contact between them. Little bit of wheel lock, and you can see Alcada lagging around a little bit. And is that maybe putting the drivers around him off? And is that making them struggle a little bit when trying to make a move? Alcada 1.6 seconds off of Hi-Fi. Hasn't got much battery either. Jack Plays is in the overtake boost. Alcada doesn't have that luxury. Jack Plays also with the lion's share of battery. As you can see, Alcada has already run out of battery as through Eau Rouge we go. Jack Plays was looking for the outside line, had to back out of it. Now pulls to the outside of the Kemmel straight, and with the added battery that he had, Jack Plays moves through into 10th place, and Alcada will try and stick in the overtake boost and fight this back. But the Williams car is looking very, very quick, and I would not be surprised if he tries to make a run for it. Although Alcada is going to go for the move again, gets down the inside line, and Jack Plays is going to have to try and fight this out, as we've got a yellow flag, and that is for Supersonic, who has got some big damage to that front wing. And he will be in the pits at the end of this lap to get a Mercedes front wing back onto that car. TTV Kian now joining the fight with Jack Plays and Alcada, as we've got a yellow flag. And is that Wood Butcher? Yes, it is. Was running in the podium places, but has had a moment as we make our way into the final sector. Another virtual safety car is deployed as round again goes Wood Butcher, and has got some big damage as well. Kevin and Mr. Smith both diving into the pit lane, realizing this is their golden opportunity to get a cheap pit stop. Lewis is also going to come into the pit lane. What about CK9K? He is also going to come in. Foliated Dam for Cadillac. He is coming in. So looks like this VSC is rewarding people with a chance to make a pit stop. Error stays out, interestingly enough. I think that was a car in the background coming in. It was Hi-Fi. We've got TTV Kian staying out as well. Kevin and Mr. Smith come out in first and second place on the hard compound tyres. Error gets out in third. It's Lewis in fourth. TTV Kian will come out in fifth then. As it looks like really everyone has come into the pits besides Error, Kian, Gunpowder. And then obviously Clyde and Zessie won't be in. They've been in already. Lunar Eclipse in the chat. Welcome in, Luna. Good to see you. Hope you are well. As the virtual safety car should be in at any moment then. And it is in right now. Normal grip is restored, although the track map still showing yellow flags. And that was a little bit presumptuous, and I think it's caught Clyde out, who has got a penalty now. So it's Kevin that is your leader. Mr. Smith in second. Error continues on in third, having not boxed yet in this race. Lewis is fourth with TTV Kian in fifth. We've got K in sixth with Jarman in seventh. Jarman on the old medium compound tyres. K on the new hards. Luna, I hope you get well soon, my friend. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully, this MOR action is making your time a little bit easier. Closest battle on track at the minute is between Jack Plays and Hi-Fi. Both of these drivers have been into the pit lane for new hard compound tyres. Luna saying Kian possible podium. I mean, it's never off the cards, is it? Anything can happen in F1 League Racing, but Kian is one of only four drivers, sorry, to have not come into the pit lane yet. And when Kian does elect to come in, obviously that will harm him. Jarman in the background as well. We've got Foliated Dam trying to fight away with the Alpine. Kian trying to take fourth place again. Round the outside of La Source, down the inside goes the Cadillac on Jarman. He takes the position away. Little bit of wheel locking between Kian and K, I believe. Kian now wheel to wheel with Foliated Dam as we go towards Eau Rouge and Radiant. It's Kian that holds fourth place for the time being. Foliated Dam and CK9 have ran out of battery. And look at Jarman flying through on the inside line. Had the battery. Going to look to make that 3 overtakes as round the outside we go. With the Alpine not able to get by. K is off the road in the background. Trying round the outside is that. Into the wall is Jarman. And round. Has just made a brilliant move to get into fifth place, sorry. And Jarman, it all comes crashing down within a couple of corners. And the Alpine driver now down to 13th. He avoided getting any damage, but has still got to make a pit stop in this race as well, as the Cadillac and Mercedes still battle away in this Grand Prix. Kian is at the front of that train at the minute, and all this battling will be pulling Tom a little bit closer to this fight, who's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. We will quickly have a look at the penalty screen, and it's 3 seconds for a lot of people, and then a drive-through for Zessie. Lunar Eclipse saying, wait, only 15 laps. Yes, indeed. We are doing 35% races for today, just as a trial. Obviously, especially yesterday, we had a lot of manual retirements and crashes and things like that. So we're just trialing one-shot qualifying 35% races to see if that makes it a little bit better. It is, of course, as I say, a trial. So there's no guarantee that the socials will stay like this in any capacity. There's no guarantee they won't go back to 50%. I've already said it. If these 35% races go better, which they are at the minute, we're about halfway through, we haven't had a single retirement, then the socials will quite easily go back to short qualifying 50% race. But it just depends on the standards. We've had a lot of calling from drivers recently about trying to alleviate some of the standards and make the racing a little bit more fun for everyone. As that's CK9 going off into the gravel, and that is Tom getting through into 6th. So this is our kind of countermeasure to test if maybe shorter races are a little bit cleaner, are, you know, going to stop people manually retiring. Obviously, there's many other things we can try as well. I've suggested that as that is a car going very slowly. That was Lewis, and into the back of him has gone CK9 and Tom. Both of them have picked up damage. Foliated Dam and Kian still fighting on. Kay has also got damage. Tom with big damage. Lewis doesn't have any damage, but looks like he is cruising. But as I was saying before all that carnage kicked off, there's multiple other things that we can do. You know, we can try short qualifying 35% race. We can try one-shot qualifying 50% race. There's many different things in the pipeline. At the end of the day, the motto is we just want the league to be as clean and as fun as possible for everyone. And we're just trying to do what is possible. Obviously, the admins can't really do anything about the driving standards. We can't, you know, exactly have a surefire way of stopping people retiring on track or crashing. You know, sometimes crashes aren't your fault. Sometimes you will have hardware issues, like with a wheel or a controller disconnecting or something. If it's a manual retirement, someone has actually got something really important to go and attend to, maybe a family emergency or something like that. So there's no real way of policing it in a way. I do see your point, Luna, and to an extent I do agree. Like I say, it's a trial. There's no guarantee that it's going to stay like this. There's no guarantee that it won't stay like this. It's more just from a place of, okay, we're being called upon to improve the standards. Let's try this. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay. At least we tried. If it does work, absolutely brilliant. Not a complaint in the world. So we will see what happens. And hopefully the standards do seem to clear up. I mean, we're over the halfway point now, and we haven't had any retirements thus far. So all looks to be going good at the moment. It's Kevin that is your leader. Mr. Smith in second. The gap between them, 5.4 seconds between the McLaren and the Red Bull. Mr. Smith, of course, was on pole position by about 0.02 of a second. We saw the mistake from Kevin during the one-shot qualifying, a slide out of the bus stop chicane, and ultimately ruined his chances of pole position. But took the move on lap 2, got his way through, and since then has led this Grand Prix. Tom is currently running in third, albeit with a little bit of a penalty, but CK9 is not close enough at the moment to be challenging Tom, who has only a 3-second penalty. All the penalties that you see are 3 seconds, apart from Zessi, who has 6 seconds in penalties, although Error has just proved me wrong and also got himself another penalty. The only caveat being, Tom has got some very big front wing damage, and we've still got 6 laps to go in this race. CK9 now picks up a penalty as well, so Wood Butcher is going to be the man that tries to take the podium away from Tom. I do believe Wood Butcher is having some connection issues, it would seem. Seems to be lagging around the track. Left, right, and centre. Towards P1 we go. Butcher not going to use the battery to try and get past the Mercedes. Error is gaining on this fight. Not everybody has pitted in this race. I was about to say everybody, but Jarmin is still out on track on the mediums that he started on. Supersonic currently running in 16th place. The Mercedes driver we saw got tagged round by, I believe it was Alcada. Oh no, that was an Alpine. that Al could have tagged round. I want to say that was Jarmin, if I'm not mistaken. As we move on then to lap 10 with Kevin, with Mr. Smith. And you can see the gaps between Kevin and Mr. Smith. Tom currently 27 seconds behind and is going to come into the pit lane. So it'll be Foliated Dam that takes third place then. As we've got yellow flags flying, and that is for Clyde, or was it? No, it was Pench, that has had a moment into the barriers and has no front wing. Oh, well, has some front wing, but very minimal front wing. As Pench makes his way into the bus stop and is going to have to come into the pit lane then and is going to have a little bit of contact. Is lucky that wasn't a retirement. That was very close, as Pench is the first manual retirement in this session then. We're on lap 10 at the moment. Kevin Zonnenberg about to go on to lap 11. The McLaren driver controlling this race out in front. Closest battle on track at the moment is between Hi-Fi and Lose. The gap about half a second. The Haas driver challenging down the Cadillac. I guess this is kind of the bragging rights for who is the better American outfit. Wood Butcher gets ahead of Foliated Dam, or through Blanchimont we go. That was very close to contact if it wasn't contact. And Foliated Dam does get ahead. We've got a yellow flag, and that is for Zessi, who is in the barriers at No Name Corner. Has lost some front wing as well. And the Aston Martin driver, you can see the damage to the front wing, is going to get lapped here by Kevin Zonnenberg. 4 laps to go in this race. And Kevin controlling the race. You can see Zessi does get out of the way for the McLaren driver. Error is right on the back of Jack Plays as well, who has much more battery, but is electing not to use it. Here comes Error towards the inside line. Jack evidently not wanting to fight that, interestingly enough. Jack currently in 7th, having just been overtaken by Error. I wonder if Jack maybe just wants to sit in the overtake boost for the time being. Butcher is now down to 5th place and has some big damage on the front wing. Kay is running in 4th at the moment for Mercedes. As Zessi comes back into the pit lane to repair that damaged front wing then. Jack Plays gaining on Error. And I wonder if he might want to go for the move towards Blanchimont, is using that battery then. And Jack Plays does want to go for the move towards Blanchimont. Error is using his battery, but does not have near enough the amount to try and defend. Jack, though, decides he's going to save his battery for another day. Lifting and coasting into the bus stop. Little bit of a lock up there for Error, who's going to go in deep. Jack Plays on the switchback. Beautiful move. Saw the incident happening ahead of him. Saw the lockup from Error. Switched underneath the Aston Martin. And that is a gorgeous move from Jack Plays to get up into 6th. Will now try and chase down Wood Butcher. Error will try and fight this back, but doesn't have as much battery as Jack Plays. As through a Rouge we go. Error is dumping the battery pack, as has Jack Plays. So it looks like the Williams driver will be able to hold on to this position for at least the time being. As Error runs completely off the road and has to cut the chicane. A little bit too deep on the brakes. error doesn't have any damage. It was just getting a bit shaky on the brakes, as Butcher, you can see, is lagging a lot around the track. Fell behind Jack Plays, is now ahead of him once more. Haven't seen this before from Butcher, so I doubt it's going to be a recurring problem, as Jack does get through then. Onward Butcher and up into 5th place. And Jack now will try and close the gap to K, who does have some damage, and try and get in that penalty window. K has 3 seconds. Foliated Dam has 6 seconds. So Jack could still finish on the podium here if he can get within 6 seconds of Foliated Dam. He already is. He's only 3.4 behind, so needs to gain about 7 tenths to K and try and avoid the battle with Wood Butcher. But Butcher isn't going to let him go without a fight, and there is contact between them. And this may be costing Jack a podium place here, as Butcher has completely gotten out of it and is now down to 8th place in this race. We're on lap 13 of 15. And Jack Plays now needs 1.5 seconds on K, who is right behind Foliated Dam in the slipstream. Foliated Dam running out of battery as well, and K is going to take 3rd place on track. Goes onto the grass to do it as well. Good move from CK9K, and moves up into 3rd place on the road. Lewis has now managed to get through on Jack Plays, and Jack needs to start deploying some of that battery. Otherwise, his podium dreams are going to be smashed, as there's contact and into the wall goes Foliated Dam. I must say, it's very jittery on board with him. It's hard to tell if that was contact or just a bit of lag. Kevin then has started the penultimate lap of this Belgian Grand Prix. Mr. Smith comes into the pit lane, wants to get the fastest lap of the race, has a 40-second gap behind, so that won't harm him at all in terms of position. Bolts on the soft compound tyres, just wants the bragging rights over Kevin. As he will emerge from the pit lane and be quite a way back from Kevin Zonneberg. Hey, just coming into the final chicane now. The gap's absolutely monstrous in this race, as Lewis now picks up a penalty as well. It does look like it will be Jack Plays finishing in 4th. The podium just looks a little bit too far gone now. As you can see, Mr. Smith giving us a little bit of a wave on the broadcast. The Red Bull driver going for the fastest lap, warming up the tyres as well to try and get them in the optimal window to set this fastest lap, as Kevin makes his way towards Blanchimont to begin the final lap of the race. And I must say, this most certainly has worked, this 35% format. We've only had one manual retirement. There's been a lot less crashes too, and it seems like the drivers have enjoyed it, as Kevin starts the final lap of the race then. We've got a yellow flag, and that is for Gunpowder Wood, who has had a moment at the top of Eau Rouge and is going to be overtaken by Jarmin here, it would look like. But no, Jarmin doesn't have the battery. For Kevin, though, it is going to be the dream day out. He's going to win this race by about 41 seconds. The gap now increasing to 42. Mr. Smith slowing down. Not sure what that's for. Maybe to save fuel, or... oh no, to get the overtake boost from the lapped Aston Martin. He's a very smart man, is Mr. Smith. Slows down to get the overtake boost from the lapped car so he can do a proper qualifying lap. That is very, very wise. As Kevin then threw Pouon for one final time. It's a new format, but it's still the same Kevin dominating here in MOR. There's a lot of papaya in the grandstand, whether that is for the flocking Orange Army or whether that is Papaya. I think we'll say for Kevin's sake it is Papaya. 46 seconds ahead of Mr. Smith. That gap will come down a little bit as the Red Bull driver goes for the fastest lap. As Kevin, I believe, has ran out of fuel. So he's quite lucky that Mr. Smith came in for the fastest lap. Otherwise, Mr. Smith could have challenged him. But it's going to be no trouble for Kevin, who will weave to the line in celebration. The car may have no fuel. Knowing McLaren, it will fail inspection and he'll be disqualified. But for Kevin, it is going to be victory at one of the most iconic circuits in the world. Kevin Zonnebeke wins the Belgian Grand Prix in dominant fashion. He stopped on the line, but he will still win this race as Mr. Smith comes home in second, is looking for the fastest lap in this Grand Prix. Is Mr. Smith able to get it? He deployed the tactics, slowed down on the penultimate lap to get the overtake boost from the lapped car. As you can see, Alcala stopped on the line as well. Here comes Mr. Smith across the line then, and does get the fastest lap of the race. A 1 minute 45.4 for him. It will be Mr. Smith in second, with Lewis in third, CK9 in fourth, with Jack Plays in fifth place. Error in sixth, with Foliated Dam in seventh. Although these two fighting to the line, Foliated Dam with a moment. Error forced off the road and picks up another penalty. Mr. Smith will finish second in this race, but DNF'd over the line, so it won't show that he's second, but he will be on the podium. Benny comes home across the line then. Tom has ran out of fuel and is cutting the final chicane to get himself over the line. Into the wall he goes, and over the line then. TTV Kian. Across the line he goes. Supersonic. And Jarman with him. We just await Clyde across the line then. Kevin, you don't need to flex. We all see it. We all see the dominance. As Clyde then comes across the line to finish the 12 PM social here in MOR Esports. I think that worked pretty well. I don't know about you guys at home. I can't speak for the drivers. I think that was much, much better. Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me for this afternoon's race. We will be back in about an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me. I will be back with you at 2. I hope to see you there. But until I see you, take care and ta-da.